Hey y'all, it is June the 8th, and I just found that out. 2020. I'm getting on a little bit late, alright? Frantically trying to get it together around here. I almost didn't make it on. I don't know if y'all ever get to those troubles when you live streaming and stuff. You almost don't even make it on. That's one of these times. Uh, so the title of this live stream is actually pretty appropriate. I'm still really trying to get it together. All right. I was fiddling with some things before I got on and stuff, and maybe I'll talk about them later. But just real dumb things. All right. And yesterday, let's go ahead and start off the broadcast by checking out one of my. How do I already got somebody up in the building? I don't even understand how that works. I don't understand how people do that. I mean, that's quick. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. Anyways, like I was saying, I barely even made it on today. By the skin of my teeth, I barely made it on. And actually, yesterday, I didn't make it on either, but I was thinking about it. I hypocrite. I would see if I could find something. I was thinking about coming on last night. I was really thinking about it. Just to touch base with y'all. How I got two people up in the building, I could never explain to you. I don't know how y'all did this, but I appreciate y'all. Yesterday, I was thinking about coming on, but I actually got kind of mesmerized, which tends to be what starts happening to me on Sundays now, it seems. On Sundays, it seems that my man puts out, it's called I Hypocrite too, by the way, on YouTube, and if you check it out, he puts out these things called You Can't Stop Progress. Alright? And as you can see down there below, they're dang near 2 hours long. They're feature-length films. Feature-length films, and they get me mesmerized. Alright? Captivating. Unbelievable if you check those out. So if you haven't even seen him, I Hypocrite, know that he is pretty popular. I don't know if y'all seen him out there. Oh, we got Four Corners Report checking in from Colorado. That's awesome. We got some people up in Colorado. We got a number of people, to include Unwrapped by Brenda, who may or may not be up in the building. But shout out to Colorado especially. I mean, I don't know if Colorado feels like a certain kind of relationship to Texans. I think they do. I get the feeling they do, and we do too, right? Y'all, and also like Montana for some reason. I mean, like, I guess cowboys and cattle trails and stuff. All right, but like I said, if you haven't heard about I Hypocrite, he's pretty popular. He's not like super popular, so you can get in on the ground floor basically, but he's pretty dang popular because of a lot of reasons, but especially these videos. I like these You Can't Stop Progresses. As you could tell, he's got 156 under his belt. Wow, that's incredible. I want to let y'all know, this kind of relates personally. I got to tie my own personal updates up into this. All right, and I got to let y'all know. I should have let you know at the top of this broadcast that there's updates, all right, to be told. Number one, especially, and I've been talking about it, I was able to mosey on down to the Target and pick up an old school telephone. And I mean old school, not too old school, it's not rotary. And I actually do remember having a rotary phone, but it's not cordless. You got a cord on it. I couldn't even believe that I found that at Target. But I did find it, and I went ahead and I talked to my providers. All right, in my apartment, for whatever reason, they've cut a deal with this company called Spectrum. Right, it's pretty popular, and everybody gets cable. You just automatically get cable, and you certainly do pay for it. You pay extra, and it's in your bill. It's in your utilities. and you pay extra no matter if you like cable or not. And so I had to call the people because that's how you get cable TV, or you get cable TV, you get the internet, you get the phone, you can get them through these provider. They already have it jacked up into my apartment. So I call them up and, talking to them. And it's an interesting situation because I had to let them know that I have an account, all these details. I have an account, but I don't have a number. All I have is cable. And then we get to the nitty gritty and they realize that I get cable automatically. And they, two different people, because I had to talk to like three different people. Two different people were like, hey, we see that you're paying for cable. You want me to just go ahead and plug in put the cable through so you can watch cable? And then I tell them, to their complete surprise, that I don't watch cable. And they're like, well, you're already paying for it, so I can just send it through so you can watch it. And I'm like, no, I don't watch it, right? And they kind of laugh because I do have to pay for it still even. But okay, I say all that to say this. We got 4 people up in the building. What in the world? Man, shout out. If you can get up in the comment section, let me know where you're at. At least let me know where you're at. We got Colorado up in the building already. But also let me know what's popping in the streets, because I really do want to know. And as the title implies, I don't exactly know what's going on today. Just woke up not too long ago from a powerful nap, all right? And I had to do that on Mondays to make sure I get ready for the week. No, but anyway, so I told them, and they're like, well, it's funny, I don't have cable. The thing is, why the hell would I want cable? For number one, because they're lying to me all over the place, and I mean constantly. They tell lies inside of lies, like, you know what I'm saying? They tell lies that they don't even mean to tell. And so it's like, why would I want that? And then also movies and stuff, like these movie theaters, some of them aren't going to come back on because they can afford to shut down. It's going to be empty buildings. It's going to be kind of awkward, huh? But it's like, why would I even go to movies? I brought that all up to say this. When you check out the iHypocrite, if you haven't seen them before, it's feature-length films when it comes to the You Can't Stop Progress thing. And it's like, why would you ever need movies? Well, who people are paying for cable? I'm paying for cable. It's incredible. But just to explain what they are, it's curation. That's all it is, really. It's curation of videos, viral videos, right? And things from around, especially America, but around the world, that are unbelievable. When it says you can't stop progress, that's kind of in reference to progressives and the progressive mindset, basically the communist mindset, unfortunately. Progressive, let's get very progressive. Let's all forget what our genders are and be very communist, progressive type stuff. All viral videos, and it's like, it's intense, because I know that you and I and everybody and their mama, we all see it when we're synced in. It doesn't take long. The videos just rain down on us, all the viral videos, and we all see them. These videos. Every week, there's definitely videos that we know that each other have seen because it's viral, right? And not only does it showcase those in these You Can't Stop Progress, but it also will show you a crap ton of videos that you have not seen. Just haven't seen them, and they will blow your damn mind. And they're not exactly curated with any sort of like, what do you call, like, order or anything like that. It's like randomly put together, but at the same time, ingeniously put together. It's spellbinding and ridiculous. I gotta give this guy some money. It's that good. Right? But anyways, I see y'all up in the comments, man. I appreciate y'all. All right, let's see what it is. Oh, we do have Unwrapped by Brenda, right? We're still up in Colorado. There's a couple Coloradoans. I don't know what y'all call yourselves. Colorado checking in. Hey, thanks to talk for the procrastinating. I appreciate you. What? Okay, yeah, that's true. What? Talk about. Thanks for the talk about, procrastinating. Oh, yeah, heck yeah. Well, if anyone's going to talk to you about procrastinating in the world, if you're going to consider anybody an expert, That'd be myself. But at the same time, we never know the outcome of the things that we get into and stuff like that. There's probably been plenty of times when you could have done some dumb stuff, and me too. Could have done some dumb stuff, and instead we procrastinated and we totally saved our own lives, probably. You know what I'm saying? It's like you never know what procrastinating might have saved you from in the past. All right, you really don't know, or at least I don't think I know. But however, procrastinating isn't exactly the thing to do today. I don't think. So okay, we got y'all up in there, and there's a morning over there. Oh man, we got Matrix Mark up in the building. He's a dang legend. I don't know. I don't know if Mark's heard of this. The I Hypocrite, man. All y'all had to hear about it, but especially Mark. I know Mark would. Matrix Mark would dig this a lot. All right, it's captivating. It's spellbinding. All right, you don't need cable or movies or anything else. Celebrities in this, but at the same time, it is showing like things that are disastrous, like straight up. I mean, this last one is so much more disastrous. Everything, all these things that we're saying. Let me see if I could play just a taste of it, so that you know what I'm saying, you can get a taste of it before we leave. Hopefully you don't buffer and stuff like that. But let me give you a taste of it. See if I can. I don't know how good the audio is going to be, but check it out just for a minute. Like, disastrous.
We don't exist naturally. White people literally come from when Pangea was a thing, and then we split up into different continents, and then people moved further away from the equator and bred lighter and lighter skinned people and even albinos until white people were created. So people that are white have the audacity to be like, we're the Aryan race, we're the supreme race, baby.
I don't know if you can even hear this. It's not like funny. This part is kind of weird, but it's awkward, like the TikTok videos people are making.
You can't be superior.
It's a lot of jump cuts
You were never supposed to exist.
and weird things. I guess it's just like I said, it's about a movie long and stuff, right? As far as now, it's got Donald Trump. It's got that lady on TikTok and people on TikTok. TikTok's something serious, right? I don't know if any of y'all checked that out. And yes, it is owned by the Chinese. So is Facebook. So is Mark Zuckerberg. So is, you know what I'm saying? So is Harvard. Everything's owned by the Chinese. So whatever. But I check it out sometimes because I have some coworkers that like to look at it. I don't know about y'all, but just real briefly on TikTok, you see those? It's characters on TikTok, dude. Like characters, and the videos are just too intense for me. Like it's just too rapid fire, non-stop videos, 15 seconds long, disaster and stuff. People acting a damn plumb fool, and weird stuff like that on TikTok. I just can't handle that. All right, I'm trying to figure out what it is so that I can handle. As far as these social medias, I gotta say, it's getting kind of ridiculous. But speaking of all that social media, we're gonna check out some of these current events and stuff here in a second. I can't wait to dive into it. But speaking about that social medias and stuff, I know I wouldn't say everybody, but a lot of people who I know, especially here on the internet, they want to kind of like, they realize the beast is like trying to swallow us up. And it uses technology, and it like poses some sort of convenience, and it like gets us to sign on the dotted line, you know what I'm saying? And get basically signing on to the beast, and now it's tracking us and stuff. And they keep talking about contact tracing, which we gotta actually talk about in a second, because if that was on the back burner, the contact tracing, I think something very interesting has come up recently, very recently, about the contact tracing. I want to talk to y'all about it, but it's like I gotta get away from this. I don't even like looking at it sometimes, especially with social media. At times I wanna see what's going on, what y'all are saying out there, what people are saying, especially my people. I want to see what they're saying, but most times I don't. Like I just want to not even look at that sort of stuff. And I find myself being on that road, and I think it's working out on a personal level. I don't know about y'all, but it's gotten to me too. Obviously, I take my cell phone everywhere I go. That's not a good idea, is it? All right? As you know, that's whole contact tracing and everything considered. All right? So I've been making steps of progress to actually get away from that. To include, I bought an old school MP3 player a while back, and actually, I lost it for a while. And I have that problem of losing things, especially when I don't keep stuff organized. So, I do try to keep myself organized for that reason. But I found it again. MP3 player. It's like I could take that because I really like music. Right? I don't know. I just really like it. And, now I use my cell phone. Right? So I had to take it with me if I want to listen to the music. I turn it on airplane mode and stuff. I don't know. That's inside baseball and stuff. But I feel like that makes me a little bit less vulnerable to the radiation all over me. And then I turn on the music. That's what I do. So now I got an MP3 player. I could do that without the cell phone. So, that's better. And I just, like I said earlier, spoke to Spectrum. And for good reason. The people who provide me the cable that I don't watch for about $40 a month, a little bit over that. And I got them to put me in a phone line, a landline, old school. It's a phone with a cord on it. That's what I got. I couldn't believe the Target had it. So, but I did that for a reason. Number one, the biggest reason, if you didn't already figure it out, I want a call-in thing. Everybody's doing call-in things, and I see them doing it, and I love it. That is entertainment and communication. We're real people talking to each other. We're not Tom Hanks trying to tell us what the hell to do. And Will Smith and this and that thinking they're all cool and stuff. They're not cool. Alright? We're actually real people and we like talking to each other and looking at each other sometimes. Alright, so that's a step in the direction that we've been wanting to go as far as a call-in show. I got an old school phone now. And so I could do like what we're doing right now. Right? And just put that phone on speaker. You'll be able to hear the person and you'll be able to hear me. And we're going to have some dialogues. It's going to be nuts. Alright? It's going to be nuts, and it's actually pretty reasonable to get that landline. They said, it's a $10, it's like what? No, a $20 installation fee, and $10 installation fee. They said, and a $10 a month. So it's like, oh, that's real easy. $10 a month. I think I can pull that off, you guys. Hopefully, we need to keep the economy going. All right, we're gonna see about that and see if we can get that underway. But it's a step in the direction of, hey, maybe now I have a phone, and that's another reason to not. It's like maybe I don't even. One day, maybe I don't even pay for a cell phone. You know what I mean? Like, and cell phones don't come with me. All right, and then I could holler at Spectrum if I did want the internet. All right, and even perhaps even save some money and stuff like that. It's gonna take some time, but I am going that way. I don't know about y'all. I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I got a figure about y'all. I've heard about y'all. Alright, so I guess with that being all stated, I want to know what's popping in the streets, and I really mean it. Some wild stuff probably going on around you. Colorado, here's the thing. I hear about a lot from Colorado, and people would be quick to say Denver and stuff like that, but I honestly, I don't know if Google's just got me all algorithm up or whatever, but I hear so much from Colorado Springs. I hear like constantly, more than anybody else, Colorado Springs, and I mean I hear wild stuff, and it gets me to having theories about what's going on, particularly in that area. Wild stuff, dude, like wild. What in the world is going on over there? That's what I want to know. Things like that, like, stuff's really popping. Now, when I was talking about contact tracing earlier, and how we're going to like, a good way to get away from the contact tracing would obviously be to not carry your cell phone all around with you everywhere you go. Okay. And a lot of people are thinking about that, especially now. It's a pretty good idea. Some people actually stayed like that the whole time. Shout out to those people. All right. But, some of us got kind of like, I don't know if suckered is the right word, but enticed into the technology. All right. I wanted to, as far as contact tracing, it's right here on Gab Trends which I find to be a pretty good source for, like all sort of different articles thrown at you at one time. Of course, there is Drudge, and everybody figured out that Drudge, I think, sold Drudge to somebody else and is now putting up like this stupid stuff, to be honest. Like, I mean, for those who don't know about Drudge, we're not going to go into it, but you already know about Drudge, and the weird kind of downside it's taken. It's just not really that, it's not as exciting as it used to be, but so now I go to GabTrends and there's other places and stuff that you can go to for all this collated news real quick. But check this out. Look at this. Cuomo, the man Cuomo to Black Lives Matter. You are infected. Go get tested. Go get tested, buddy. All right, now I would assume this is in reference. And here's the thing. I don't know if that's true at all. This is reportedly he said that. I want to put it out there because I don't know that that's true. And Lord knows people put out like headlines that are stupid, and like, I don't know what it's from. What, True Pundit? Well, they got a reputation, all right? So it's something, but it says, assume you are infected, Governor Cuomo. See, that's what a lot of people were laughing about on the internet. It's like, oh, you know what cured Corona? Riots. Riots cured him. Because now it's riots. Nobody's talking about this stupid stuff. Social distancing. Wow. All right, so everybody was making that joke for, what, about a week and a half, or however long these damn riots been going on. And I don't know if they're still going on. I don't know. I had to get my wherewithal. I would assume, but hopefully they're not still going on. But he said protesters have a civic duty to get tested for that coronavirus. I thought that was so interesting. That was so interesting because, on the mind of dum-dums out there, they're always thinking about race for some sort of reason. Skin color, I don't know why, but, I mean, we all know that they do think that way, right? People, they get caught up in these weird left-right paradigms or whatever, but they're like, you know what I'm saying? They're out here, obviously, talking about the Black Lives Matters and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, we get it. We got it a few years ago when y'all did it, and then y'all went nowhere for a while and then came back. We get it. So, it's interesting. Is it almost like, to look back on it, if Cuomo is saying what he's saying right now, to look back on it, you would almost assume that this was a trick on y'all, on the dum-dums out there and the criminal-minded people who actually went out there to riot and loot, which is like just never acceptable, not even a little bit. All right, and it's almost like a trick on them because it's like, oh yeah, Black Lives Matters. We really got to come out. You really got to stand up for your people and stuff. And we stand behind you. We want you to go to these rallies and stuff, and we want you to peacefully protest and burn everything down at the same time. And after y'all do it, we're going to say, hey, assume you got infected by corona. In fact, you have some sort of civic duty to go get yourself tested right now. And maybe against your will we'll get you tested. Maybe if you're seen out there. Maybe if we got pictures of you and we can figure out that it's you and stuff, man. I don't know. Maybe if we get, your cell phone. Maybe you took your cell phone. Maybe you did. I know some people didn't for a good reason, and some people put their things on airplane mode and went into riot mode. All right, but maybe we'll triangulate where you were at on that specific day, and if you were close to the riots, maybe we're gonna mandate. I don't. Am I talking crazy, or is that like impossible? Right, so he's like, oh, maybe you were around that area, so now you got to get mandated and come get a test and stuff. See, you need to get tested, and if you do get tested, get positive, well, break yourself off. All right, you don't have a job. You think you have a job, man? Really quite interesting. But wouldn't it be a weird kind of trick and like a little experiment to play on y'all? I'm not saying that that's what would happen, and I'm not talking about y'all out there who's listening to me, but for all those people in that movement, wouldn't that be a weird trick, right? And it goes on because, yeah, the big businesses that you might have burned down, a Target is still going to exist regardless of how many Targets you burn down. You understand? Like, and then the small businesses are who were struggling to begin with, like very much struggling on the, they were teetering on the brink. Now those get burned down too, and they just don't never come back. So you see how it's like an interesting little trick. I mean, I'm talking about especially the black-owned businesses in that area. Definitely got burned down forever and stuff like that. There's black people who lost their lives up in these riots because of the rioters. And I mean by the dozens, for those who don't know. I bet you everybody in the audience knows exactly what I'm talking about. All sort of people have lost their lives because of the riots. That's hateful. Let's see what's up in the dang. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. I wanted to get to this. And like I said, I want to repeat it. I want it on repeat. Here's the thing. I just got a phone line. A landline, and it's going to be because in reference to say Bart Fine, perhaps I'm right by Brenda if she wants to jump on. Anybody, Four Corners Report, I know we want to just jump on. Sometimes with the call-in type of show, which we're going to get underway hopefully as soon as possible. Here's the thing. I got the number. I'm looking at the number. I have it. I have the number. It's going to get paid for. But they're sending me a modem or whatever to make it possible in the mail. I got the phone. I got the number. I don't have the modem, so we can't do it tonight. All right. But in the meantime, while I wait for the modem to come in the mail, FedEx, in the meantime, I guess I'm going to have to for people who want to get on with me, all right, and get to the nitty gritty. I mean, like, really just talk loudly, all right? Anybody who wants to get on there and do that sort of thing, I'm going to have to let y'all know what the number is, obviously in private. I have to get y'all to email or get y'all's email. I set up a Proton mail actually a few weeks ago. There's a piece of paper in which I wrote down what the heck my information is. And I had to retrieve that piece of paper and then let y'all know what my email is. All right? I got to let y'all know what my email is so that you can email me. Actually, I mean, there's an old email too, and you can email me there as well. And that is Gerard.for, as in FOR, America. All right? I don't know if you can remember that. I tried to put that in the chat the other day, and it wouldn't let me. My fingers are too fat. I'm operating from my cell phone. So it wouldn't let me do that. But Gerard.for, as in FOR, America. All right. I think you should remember that at, gmail.com. All right. Just in case if you want the Chinese to know, the Communist Chinese Party to know what it is we're talking about. But that's still pretty private. And if you send me an email there and just say, hey, I want that phone number, I'll shoot it to you, and then you can call in, I guess, whenever you like. And that's how we're going to play it and stuff. It's going to take a couple of days. All right, but I look forward to it. Anyways, I wanted to see what's on these comments before we get out of here. I mean, we're running like short on time. I think we got a good 20 minutes to get through some of this. But we started kind of late. And my apologies and stuff. I was all over the place. I don't know about y'all, but I want to hear about y'all. All right? Let's see what's going on. It is morning time in Australia. I wonder what Maitre Mark's doing and stuff. I hope he's like taking it really easy. Maybe a cup of coffee, maybe a cup of tea, breathing in maybe a cigarette or something. Just breathing in the nice cool air. I hope it's a cool morning over there. But anyways, I just ate my neighbors. Oh man. Ate your neighbors. That's messed up. It's messed up. It's goddamn ridiculous. But it's like, I wonder which ones. Were you discriminating? All right. Which neighbors, did you think about it? Or was it just in the heat of passion that you ate your neighbors? All right. It's pretty funny. Things like that. We got to think about, it's wild things like that. That sometimes feel like they're inappropriate, but it'll put you on the map. Now, Alex Jones has been on the map. He basically is the map. But, even more so, he's just, just talking about eating your neighbors and wild stuff. It's funny. It's funny. And, might I add, it's not illegal. It's actually just funny. It's joking around. All right? But it's also dead serious because people have ate their neighbors and stuff. Like that really has happened in desperate times. It's like we don't want to get to that, but they keep throttling us. Be it a shutdown for coronavirus, be it riots, be it I don't know a mass something or other that's gonna happen real soon, and just all sort of businesses going under. That's what they like, all right. But when that sort of thing happens, obviously you keep going that way. Well, you're gonna eventually start eating each other, right? It's terrible, or eating the zoo animals, or doing weird stuff, right? It is terrible. But speaking of that, I do want to get through whatever. I want to find out about things before we get out of here. Just to put it that way. But there's one thing, just to take a brief second on that note, there's one thing that actually is in the recent current events. I don't know if y'all heard about this. And shout out, let me know if you did hear about this. All right, because I'm kind of interested. I don't know what the keywords are just to find this. I gotta re-find this. Ate his grandma. Did y'all see this? I mean, speaking of eating neighbors, I know Alex Jones and this and that, he'll be demonized, but he says it on purpose. Just to, am I gonna go to news? But here's the thing, people be eating people, alright? I know it's like, that's the thing, you can look at Alex Jones in sort of way for saying these sort of things, but it's not like he's doing it, alright? People are actually doing it, and this could be fake news, right? But I heard about this a few days ago. Holla at your boy. I don't know if you heard about this. Cannibal, 37, ate his 90-year-old grandmother. It's just like anything else. A lot of people would be quick to say, it's fake news. They just want us to get used to the idea of eating each other and stuff like that, and they just want to, and so they're making this up. I have reason to believe that they're not making it up. For number one, it doesn't really help them in this instance, or I don't know. You could argue one way or the other. But check this out: 37-year-old man. He's living with his grandmother. And it's like, okay, that's the thing. There's certain things where it's like all sort of red flags. There's certain things that you just should not do. You should not do it. And there's people out there who do not have the sense enough to know. I mean, it has to be extremely extenuating circumstances or something. Something had to have gone terribly wrong for your grandson to have to come live with you at the age of 37 years old. Terribly wrong. Terribly wrong. Alright? So it's like, that's the thing. I know a lot of these people out there, they don't have what it takes to think, or not even to think, but to see reality. And the reality is, no grandma should want her grandson living with her like this. Alright? At such an old age and stuff, you gotta understand something's wrong. And then just to go further, it's very typical. Alright? We don't have to know too much about these people or the guy accused. I know I've seen his face already, but I don't really need to see his face and stuff. I have seen it, but it's just like, you don't want to do this. And there's certain things that just go unmentioned in our society because it has been so destructive from the inside out. That's like, of course you'd want to mention that this doesn't make sense. Alright? For no circumstances ever. I mean, okay, for practical purposes, a grandma should live, if she needs to. If she needs to, would go live with the grandson. Why? Because he has his own place. He has something going for him. You know what I'm saying? And he put her up and stuff and put her to the side, somewhere, and it would be all good. But that's his place. It's his rules. You're talking about a situation in which a 37-year-old man has to live by his grandma's rules. It's her house. And so God bless this lady. She ran her house. It was her rules until her rules started to get broken, and then that ended up with her getting ate. And these articles, they're meant to incriminate whoever they want to. I don't know if everybody heard about this, but it happened in California, as I understand, Richmond, California. And so he ate her and stuff. And I don't know what it's going to say in this article. Alright, we don't have time to read it actually. But you could read the articles, various articles. There's obviously it's been copied and pasted in a lot of places, but I wanted to say, a lot of them say that he's a suspected cannibal, and that really gets my goat. Right, that grinds my gears. Right, and I had to put it out there. He's a suspected cannibal. All right. The thing is, according to some reports, this is all just reported. I don't know if it's true, but according to some reports, what happened and what typically does happen. All right. This I've seen it go down, or I haven't seen it go down, but I've read about it going down in this fashion a number of times. Is that the cops, for whatever reason, get some sort of idea that there's a commotion. The cops are called. I don't know what's going on, some rustling or whatever. So the cops come and they're like, what's going on here? We got reports and stuff. They start knocking on the door, to a place. And nobody's answering, but they're hearing rustling and stuff. They're like, what's going on here? And so they're hearing rustling. And they're like, dude, we're going to have to break down the door. So they break down the door and then find this dude. That's reportedly they find him, just like typical, eating, in the process of eating his grandma. And so all sort of questions come up. I know it's none of our business, but I can't help but have all these questions. I mean, just to rattle off one or two. Was she cooked? Was she not cooked? Like, I really want to know. And no, I mean, it's still bad either way. Either way, it's just, that's not a place you want to be at. You don't want to see that. But was she cooked? Was she not cooked? Because I imagine it's like lots of the time a heat of the passion thing, passion of the moment, heat of the passion of the moment. And I don't know. But I'm curious. Thing is, he's eating her. You bust down the door, you see him eating her. And according to reports, I don't know what this one said, is they tell him to stop eating her. And of course he doesn't. That's how it typically is. Because I don't know, I mean, obviously demons are involved, first and foremost. That's the only way this happens. Humans cannot eat each other. Demons will pop up out of you and start eating humans through you. Alright, so so obviously that's involved, but also heavy drug use is involved, to include certain whatever. Who knows? Who knows what kind of drugs? Alright, there's definitely like bath salts and this and that. People have been smoking these marijuana alternative, like called Spice, which is not, it'll totally ruin your life apparently. And I don't know what got into this guy to where he ate it. Maybe he was completely drug free, but I doubt it. Ate his grandma. And it just grinds my gears because they're like, he's a suspected cannibal. Did you or did you not witness him eating his grandma? Alright, so how much are we going to really use the cops witnessed it? You know what I'm saying? Unless they're framing him up. It's like, okay, so he's suspected, I guess, of being a cannibal. And that's how it is. That is how it goes. Like, they say, stop eating your grandma. And then they just continue. They don't hear a word. Right? If you ever had a dog or you've seen a dog get into a dog fight, like, they don't hear you. They're just going to continue eating or biting away. And that's what they do. And I don't know if they stun them or something. They had to have done something. Stun him, shot him. I don't know if they did. But they were able to get him off his grandma. And like I said, just one of those things that goes without saying. These are the things that are, well, I mean, it shouldn't go without saying, I guess. All right, people should start saying it more. This is the sort of situation where all parties involved are guilty, right? Just to put it like very briefly, the moral of the story is all parties are guilty. A lot of people will look at the grandma and say, that's a disaster. She shouldn't have got ate by her grandson. Can you imagine all the good times that they had before he inevitably ate her? I mean, isn't that all messed up? Poor grandma. Oh, poor lady. My theory is there's nothing poor about it, dude. This grandma was some certain kind of way, right? And I don't know the details of the story, but I'm just saying something weird happened with his mom, obviously, and or his dad, and that the grandma has to look after him. all the way up until the age of 37. I mean, like that's beyond dysfunctional. They got the numbers for Corona, just in case if y'all wanted to know, right here. They got the numbers for Corona. Okay. We're not going to spend too much time because we don't have that much more time left. We got about 5-10 minutes. I want to wind it down, and I want to hear from y'all before we get out of here. What's really popping in the streets? I want to know about it. That way we can talk about it more so on the next broadcast. All right. Y'all let me know. But real briefly, as we pass the whole Corona thing or whatnot, okay, typically probably it's a hoax. I'd probably be banned for saying that. But basically, it's a hoax. We're all being hoaxed. We all know it, all right? And some places, to include New England, that area, and we've mentioned it. We'll probably talk about it on later broadcasts. To me, it's very dysfunctional. The whole area of New England, just because y'all don't have no space in between y'all. There's no space in between y'all. Y'all are all like, I mean, for people who's over there in New England or who've gone there before, y'all are all crammed together, dude, in a certain kind of way that just doesn't make sense. Y'all are so tripping. And even y'all cities are crammed up together. It's like, dude, of course when one of y'all gets disease, any kind of disease, it's going to pour out all over y'all because y'all don't have no space. Have you ever seen rats all crammed up into, like, at a pet store, all crammed up into the same thing? They don't have no space. It's disgusting. All right? I don't mean to get down on people, but I'm just saying, obviously, that'd be a vector for disease if there was one. It could all be a hoax, anyways. But, and I get banned for saying that. But over in San Antonio, I just gotta say real briefly, for y'all who want to know, I done the math. In fact, yesterday I got kind of tripped up and spaced out when I thought about it because they told me all the numbers. They were giving me the updates. I was doing the math for the updates. For the disease or whatever for San Antonio, as far as San Antonio goes, more specifically Bexar County in general. They had the numbers for me as far as Bexar County, as far as coronavirus. I plugged in all the numbers, what they told me, as far as how many people have, quote, got it and how many people have, quote, died from it. And it was so unbelievable. It was so unbelievable for these, and we've been shut down, not shut down, but stifled and throttled for 2 months now, at least. 2 months, right? Over this deadly disease, right? Okay, and I did the numbers, right? First of all, they're gassing up the numbers, and we all know it. It's fraudulent. If any numbers even exist, they're pumping them up, especially in these Democratic ran cities, to include San Antonio, Bexar County. Okay, so with that, even though the numbers are all gassed up, I did the numbers, and it's literally a 0.00. I did the numbers, and as far as anybody under 65 goes, with their gassed up numbers, it's a 0.00030 chance that you're gonna get this and die. And you know, just looking at why I got spaced out is because when you look at that number, you might think, oh, well, that means there's still a chance. There's a chance that I'll die. See, it's 0.00099. See, there's a chance. Chance I'll die from it. That chance is so unbelievably small. Right? I'm not even talking about a 1% chance. And a 1% is kind of large when you think about it. If you go outside and have a 1% chance of dying, that's not easy to deal with. But a 0.00099% chance, right? After they gassed up the numbers, obviously it's a complete hoax. I'm just saying, okay. I said all that to say, in my personal opinion, I don't know where y'all are at and stuff, but here in Texas, it's kind of interesting, especially San Antonio. All the numbers, I did them for like the 5 major counties in Texas that have been like hit by this disease, and San Antonio is the lowest out of all of them, right? Like, we don't have it. We just don't have it. And I guess it's just too hot and humid. It's damn near 100 degrees earlier, and humid as hell, if you can imagine that. But, you know, it's what we're used to. The disease can't really exist if you go outside. And that's what's messed up. It's like, okay, yet and still, the mayor All right, yeah, I already knew he was a weasel. I already knew he's trying to throttle everything. That's who he is. He promised to screw us over before the election, and he's just carrying out his promises. But at the same time, even a Governor Abbott, I gotta say, although he's been more better, I gotta say, it's like, why do we have, why is anybody still telling us to do anything? Why are they still even saying to do anything? When you think about it, especially now, we're getting into the heart of summer. As far as this disease, everybody knew that it's going to go away in the summertime. Okay, so we're already, it's like, why is there still restrictions? And they're so haphazard anyways. Like, from what I understand, now you can have 75% occupancy in restaurants. It's like, why even bother? Even, but the answer to the question why is because screw us. That's why. Meanwhile, there's more than enough people who are not even following your damn rules, and why would you blame them? All right, you're trying to choke off their financial well-being. All right, but anyways, we have all these here stories. I'm gonna just check out a couple before we get out of here. Thank y'all, and I appreciate y'all. Like I said, send me an email if y'all want to that email, and I'll go ahead and check it. Send y'all the phone number, and you can call in next time. Or I'll also get y'all my other email, because I'm going to try and switch off to Proton Mail and stuff, and we're making moves in order to get away from the Communist Chinese Party. Believe it or not, they keep coming after us, right? But what's going on here? Coronavirus lockdowns in Europe saved millions of lives? That's a lie, right? Because there's no way to know that. Racetrack pretends declares events a protest to defy lockdown orders. So you do, damn, that's awesome. The racetrack had, see, all you have to do is say you're protesting, and you are protesting in a sense. By even, like, by living your life, that's technically a protest, and therefore it gives you, I guess, the ability to go outside or something. George Floyd's family asked United Nations to disarm the police in the U.S. Like, I don't know if that's true. It's from Breitbart. Like, but, I mean, wouldn't it be typical? Lewis Hamilton, remove all racist symbols. And basically, that'll be any symbol that they want. You can no longer have symbols. Coronavirus London, Stansted Airport passengers react to the quarantine. I don't know what they're talking about, but they probably got all screwed over. Are you a racist if you don't own white male privilege? That's from the Pattis blog, Norm Pattis. Shout out to that dude. He's a baller. I like that guy a lot. Norm Pattis, he's an attorney, and he's down for them civil rights, if you will. He said, are you a racist for not owning it? What is, you know what I'm saying? Because they want you to own it. Why? Because they want you to pay a tax on it, basically. Now they're going to tax your skin color. Defund the police, which is like a thing that nobody should have ever thought about. I mean, it's beyond unbelievable to even think about defunding the police. All right. Movies from way back, like Sin City, come to mind. Or different places when you think about no-go zones, which everybody was saying was a myth. Over there in Europe, no-go zones, that's where the police can't come in, and it's basically got calamity. Alright, defund the police, like it's actually on their minds. Of course it's not going to happen. And, I wish it would happen, dude. Yeah, defund the police for whatever BS city you're in. Not my city. It's not going to happen. Alright, and I have plenty of reason to believe it. Alright, plenty of damn reason. But, I mean, if you want to do that in some other city, watch it burn to the ground, go for it, I guess. Democrats take a knee in the U.S. Congress, and okay, y'all might have seen this. We got to get up out of here pretty soon, but y'all might have seen this already. Things go viral. Alright, so if you're taking a look, I can't zoom in. Or yeah, I can. I guess I can. But, that is the most demonic looking ritual. And I'm not speaking specifically about the African garb. Lord knows if you're from Africa and you do that African thing, then that's a beautiful scarf. I'm not trying to hate on the scarf. I'm just saying this is a satanic ritual, obviously, and everybody knows it. It's like the Rachel killing of America. All right, to some sort of African Egyptian god, probably. So obviously, anyways, false flag alert. Obama Foundation tweeted about George Floyd on May 17th, a week before his supposed murder. See, okay, that's just to say this. That was on Trump.news, whatever that means. I don't know if Donald Trump actually. They are nice looking scars. I'm not saying anything about the scars at all, literally, unsarcastically, but it is a satanic ritual just because it's like, okay, that's Africa. It's not America. You live in America. You're representing America, not Africa. And also, you're pasty white, dude. Like, you don't even go out in the sun. Apparently, Nancy Pelosi, like, you had, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all are like vampires and stuff, man. So now you're kneeling down in a satanic ritual. And I think everybody knows what I'm talking about. The African scarf actually does look nice, but not on these people. False flag alert, Obama. But like I said, what I was going to say about this whole George Floyd thing, it's like everything else. I think everything goes under this umbrella of who cares, and we don't have to believe it. We don't have to believe anything at all. So as far as having theories about perhaps the murder of George Floyd being staged, why not? Yeah, sure, it was staged. I mean, at least I'm willing to entertain the idea that it could have been staged. And so people have all sort of theories, and people will come down all sort of evidence. Regardless, on its face, it's messed up. To assume that they probably knew each other, because how long are you going to work together at the same place and not know each other? And the poor excuse was like, oh, black people, we're getting killed and stuff. Totally disregarding and negating the fact that it's all sort of other people getting killed too. Just kind of, you know what I'm saying? But I've already said that sort of stuff. Like, we got that out of the way. The thing is, you know, they always look and they say, oh man, you're saying that maybe it was staged, maybe it's not real. Oh, you're saying that it's fake? That's because you don't care. That's because, you know, you're a criminal and stuff, and you can't say this. You can't. That's hate speech. You know what I'm saying? We got to get rid of the dang Constitution. We can't have it. And shout out to everybody around the world, but the United States, we got a Constitution, and they're like, nah, forget that. All right? You can't say that because that's outrageous. You're saying this guy, maybe he died, maybe he didn't die, maybe it was all staged. Yeah, maybe it was. All right? But that goes for anything. I want some damn details. First of all, these people probably knew each other. So ergo, I mean, to assume it was racist is beyond ridiculous, right? I mean, when people know each other and wind up killing each other, I want to know the details, right? And there's a lot of people out here who do want to know the details. And it seems as though when we dived into the details, I didn't do it so much. Some people did. They couldn't find out all this stuff, right? I mean, supposedly, they were tweeting about George Floyd even before anybody knew George Floyd. And everybody's going to his funeral, carrying on, celebrating him like he's an angel. Meanwhile, he did one time rob a lady, and it's like, and of course that doesn't mean he needs to get killed. I'm just saying, put a gun to her pregnant belly and all sort of savagery, all right? I'm not saying he needs to get killed. I'm just saying, like, he's not an angel, obviously. Donald Trump rails against CNN poll by tweeting letter from his pollsters. Gosh, you know, I don't know if we have even time for all this sort of stuff. All right? I don't know what they're going to tell us. It's even really important. All right? Hopefully, nothing big's happening right now. Like, U.S. prosecutors say Britain's Prince Andrew not cooperating in Epstein probe. Certain things that we need to keep our eye on, and like nothing else, you know? And just refuse. And I know we're already refusing, but just refuse to talk about anything else. Like, I mean, if we want to talk about Epstein all day, every day, for the rest of the time, that's something that didn't get resolved, all right? Oh, yeah, he's supposedly dead. Well, whatever, he's dead or not, it doesn't really matter. What about that lady? Ghislaine? What about that? What about Maria Farmer? She has a lot to say, and I find it very interesting. All right. What about all sort of people? Jessica Collins. What about all sort of people who I don't even know all their names? All right. Describing this Prince Andrew and everybody else. What about those people? How about I don't care about anything else? All right. And until that's resolved, I know full well that we're being lied to imminent. And obviously, I didn't need any more evidence. I'm just saying that's over the top evidence right there, all right? Obviously. So, anyways, we gotta get up out of here. I appreciate y'all. It is June the 8th. We live in the end of days, says the Maitre Mark, and I wouldn't attack him, or I wouldn't disagree with him on that. But I just in case I missed any of these comments before I get up out of here, I want to see what it is y'all said. Man, y'all got a couple of them. Dang. All right. Shout out to everybody out there. I appreciate y'all. Weaponized rabies. All right, let's talk about it just real quickly. I only got a couple more minutes, and I appreciate y'all. I hope y'all have a good night. But if you didn't know, General Shepard, one of Bart Fine, at the Bart Fine as reported in Newsweek. I mean, this guy's been all over the place. He's put in mad work, and I can only admire it, to be honest with you. Anyways, lately he's been talking about pet vaccinations, bad pet vaccinations. He's got a hunch, and he's probably got evidence to back it up. But that's what he's calling pet vaccinations. It's honestly, it's like, to me, that'd be a little bit from left field, but I couldn't put it past him. I'm thinking a mass event of some sort is going to be the next thing. But he says bad pet vaccinations, and that could be. Lord knows they love shutting down the dog park, all right? And I don't appreciate that at all. Dang, I can barely read this, but Maitre Mark said, I had a party on the weekend. Whoa, all right? So one guy said, dang, that's cool having a party. I never have parties anymore and stuff. I don't like people at my place. But he said, I had a party on the weekend. One guest said it was the second time she had left her house in 3 months. She was terrified of COVID. Oh, my God. People have been taken hostage, literally. Like, all over the world, people have been taken hostage, literally, by themselves. It kind of, if y'all had seen V for Vendetta, I know a lot of y'all probably have. V for Vendetta. Remember when Natalie Portman comes out and she's all bald headed and she didn't realize that she could have walked out whenever she wanted to? That's kind of how that goes. It's like, wow, oh God, but like they lay down. See, that's the thing about it. You know, we realize it's not even about saying, it has nothing to do with intellect, basically. Intellectual, like, nobody, it's not about being smart enough to retain your freedom necessarily, because even very, quote, smart people have laid down, they're wearing masks all over the place and this and that, and, you know what I'm saying, they're being terrified and being held up hostage in their house and stuff like that. So it's like, they can't help their reaction. It's like, for example, when someone pulls a gun on you, people, they'll act a few different ways. I mean, it's just going to be like how you react. It's going to be like instinct. And it's going to be a few different ways. You don't know how you're going to react. You don't really know how you're going to react till you get the gun pulled on you. You might think you know how you're going to react. No, you don't know how you're going to react. And you might even think you'd be scared, but your reaction might be to punch that person in the throat. And you wouldn't even think about it. You know what I'm saying? You don't know how you're going to react. And so that's how they did react, in total terror. And they're absolutely terrified about what's on their cable news stations. Rabbi Brandon says, well, I just left a comment to Maitre Mark about this creepy guy on CNN a few months ago. And it was saying about drones, right? Dropping IT at Mardi Gras, but they could have dropped the what? They could have dropped the V at the riots. When we think about that trick that I was mentioning earlier, first of all, like, the V or not, let's say they didn't give them the V, they got you and they'll contact trace you. And you might already have it anyways. And of course it didn't affect you, and they'll find you, and they'll work you over. Not everybody, just whoever they want to, right? Work you over for even being out there. Now, however, the theory can extend into the fact is, it would not be very hard at all to just drop that V on y'all while y'all are all in the same places, right? Maybe just, even just like, you know what I'm saying? for the leader, you could have sprayed one of them down with the V, and he didn't even know. Spray him down. Now he goes, interacts with everybody else, gives everybody else the V. Y'all all got the V. Y'all all been tricked, and they're gonna take y'all down, and they're gonna use y'all's efforts. And I don't. It's like I'm not talking to those people necessarily because I'm sure they're not hearing me, but I'm just saying the tricks are unbelievable and deadly disastrous. So, Matrix Mike says yes, Brenda, that he just read the comment, and so we got a network built up. That's why it's like it's unbelievable. When it comes to people and doing these call-in shows, I see a lot of people. I just caught JoJo Cinco's the other day. JoJo Cinco had the Man Bar Fine on there too, and that was awesome. You got just another channel, just another Brandon. People out there, Chase the Patriots, all sort of people who we just don't even have time to list. But building a network of people who's very popular, but they're not celebrities. These celebrities are disgusting. They're so disgusting, and they're working for the Communist Party of China, and we're done with it. And so that's what we're realizing. Barfine said predicted a biological weapons attack on InfoWars, and he sure did, over and over and over and over. But just let it be known, in case people haven't heard out there, biological attack, obviously that just seems reasonable that they would do that, and have all sort of false flag mass events. We live in the end days, says Maitre Mark. I would agree. All right. In fact, we're on the end of YouTube until we get banned, and then we might come back or we might not. But either way, we're gonna have this call-in show. All right. If you don't hear nothing else, we're gonna do it, and you're gonna be involved. Unless you're scared, you might be scared. All right, but the other people who ain't scared, they're gonna be involved, and I'm gonna be involved with their stuff, and we're gonna collate all this information, get it all wrapped up, you know what I'm saying, get it all organized, and use it somehow for our freedoms or something. You know what I'm saying, like to attack. In a spiritual sense, not only that, like not only external, obviously we know that there's external people coming after us, right? And no, we're not paranoid. But even more to the point, and everybody knows it, I wish y'all good night. I appreciate y'all for hanging on. But obviously it's a spiritual thing. As we attack them, as we realize their tricks and their tomfoolery, we realize that internally there's things that we're doing. We're in the process of cleansing ourselves. A natural process of cleansing ourselves inside, right? It's more about inside than it is about outside, right? It's an internal battle, spiritual battle. We're cleansing ourselves right now. All this weird, wild stuff's happening. Yeah, it's weird and wild, and we would rather it didn't happen. However, the system that we were holding up, it was facilitating all sort of carnage behind the scenes, and that was terrible for millions of people. All right, never forget that. Now that we're going through this change, the disaster is all on the table. Everybody can see it. It's right in your face. It's every single day. It's all in the United States government. It's, you know what I'm saying? It's, Nancy Pelosi and all them. It's all in everybody else's governments and stuff. Yeah, it's coming after us. It's attacking us, hitting us hard, real hard. They're desperate. But at the same time, it gives us an insight on how all the different various little ways that we bought into their suicidal, absolutely destructive system that they tricked us into doing this whole time. And without all these wild stuff happening, I don't think we would thoroughly get the point, and I don't think we'd have the understanding. That's why it's all being revealed to us so that we can have the understanding, right? And change ourselves from the inside, cleanse ourselves, and forget about all this turmoil stuff, man. It's ridiculous. We got gardens to grow. I appreciate all y'all, and I'll wish y'all a good night, and I'll holler at y'all a little bit later.